and welcome back to My Nerdy Kitchen. Today, I'm with Sharon, my sister-in-law that you've met in the delicious but not attractive Hagrid's birthday cake to Harry, the chocolate cake. If you haven't seen it, you can click on the link right here. So today, because Christmas is right around the corner, the most magical time of the year, we are going to be cooking 2 types of Christmas things. The first is going to be a homemade fudge and also meringues, because those in my brain are very, very Christmassy. On to baking!
Hello, 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 fellow nerds! First things first is the homemade fudge. To start this off, we are going to grab an 8 square pan and then line it with parchment paper to help the fudge come out easier later. And then you will grab a saucepan and listen to the wise words of past Rachel and Sharon.
It says the mixture will expand like crazy. Do the bigger one. I'd rather have it be extra large.
You will see that this was a very, very good idea. In the saucepan, combine your 2 cups whole milk, 2 cups granulated sugar, 2 tablespoons of syrup, 1/4 cup heavy cream, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1/4 teaspoon cream of tartar, and a 1/4 stick of butter. We are now off to pass Rachel and Sharon for Where in the Book Is This From?
For our homemade fudge, that comes from Harry Potter and Sorcerer Stone, chapter 12. And this is all about Christmas. And Harry has never really had a real Christmas before because his aunt and uncle are awful. But Mrs. Weasley has sent him a parcel with his own sweater and some homemade fudge. So, Merry Christmas, Harry.
Nice story.
I know, it makes me so happy.
Begin to stir frequently.
Question. Does it have us adding chocolate?
I was actually just thinking about that. The answer is no.
What type of fudge is this? When I think of fudge, I think
it's chocolate too. I was waiting for that too.
Using a candy thermometer, you are going to stir frequently until the mixture reaches 220 degrees. Once it has reached 220, you are going to stir consistently until it reaches 238. This could take up to 30 minutes. Oh, and remember how earlier we switched out our saucepans from a little one to a big one? Well, glad we did.
It's really expanding. I'm glad that we did this one.
Wow, it's going.
We would have been in trouble with the smaller one.
Just keep stirring, just keep stirring.
Now for some history facts from the book while we wait for the fudge to get to the right temperature. Sharon and I earlier were talking about how we were surprised that there was no chocolate in this fudge. But according to the book, in England, non-chocolate fudge is also called opera fudge. And it's just a non-chocolate variety of fudge, so that's what we're making. And we were very surprised that there was no chocolate in it, but it's supposed to have no chocolate in it. So we're currently waiting for the fudge to get to the right temperature. It's taking a while. It will be beautiful when it's done. Right, Sharon?
It's actually 27. Not there yet.
Not there yet. Keep stirring!
The mixture will continue to get thicker and thicker and thicker as you stir. And eventually, it will get to 238 and you will remove it from the heat. Wait for the concoction to cool down to 115 and then add your 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Beat or stir this together until it loses its gloss. It'll take about 10 minutes and make sure to use a wooden spoon. Once it is thick enough, you are going to put it into your cake pan and start flattening it out. You can use a piece of saran wrap in order to smush it down so you don't get your fingers all sticky. Let it cool completely, and then you can cut it up into little squares.
like a cheese pudding.
It literally looks like cheese.
It keeps changing.
Especially this. This looks like Parmesan cheese.
Yeah, it keeps changing.
Taste tester numero uno. Go ahead, buddy.
Okay, I'm gonna take this piece on top. Okay, I'm gonna take this piece on top. Smell. It was very rich. That's good. My taste buds do not work.
It's vanilla.
There's no chocolate. Vanilla fudge.
That'll make more sense. It's good though, for sure.
Sharon, would you like to know where meringues are mentioned in Harry Potter?
Absolutely.
Fantastic, good answer. So meringues are mentioned in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Chapter 7. At the very first feast that our characters go to, Neville recounts how his uncle nearly dropped him out of a window because his aunt offered him a meringue. Death by meringue. Luckily, Neville didn't get hurt because he was magical. They really thought he was a squib, but he's magical, so therefore he's at Hogwarts and he's safe and there's no death by meringues.
Separate 2 eggs and allow the egg whites to get to room temperature before continuing. Attach your fixtures and add an 1/8 teaspoon of cream of tartar, 1/8 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, and your 2 large egg whites, which should be at room temperature again. Beat this mixture until soft mounds begin to form. Once this happens, you will begin to gradually add your 1/2 cup of sugar and continue to beat until it is stiff but still glossy. Grab a piping bag and begin to pipe out your meringues onto the cookie sheet. These are going to go into the oven for 1 hour and rotate halfway through.
And now for some meringue history facts. Way back when, in the 1500s, the Europeans discovered that if they beat egg whites with twigs for their whisks, then they would get this really fluffy, wonderful creation. They used to eat this raw with cream. However, about a century later, they began to make this into cookies, and thus meringues were born.
Last thing to know about the meringues is that you need to leave them in the oven with the oven turned off for another hour to help them dry out. And then you get to eat them.
Thank you everyone for joining Sharon and I while we bake both homemade fudge and meringues. Both can be found in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Sharon, did you have fun?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Did we have lots of sweets?
They were yum.
They were yum.
Well, hope you follow along. Let me see your photos. And Merry Christmas to you all.
Merry Christmas.
Goodbye.